What is up, y'all? These are the two Ridgid saws. This one closest to you is the Octane model, and this one right here is the Gen5x brushless. Now, when I originally ordered the saw, I thought I was getting the Octane, but I ended up getting this one with like a jigsaw, I think, for like 120 something or 100. It's like 129, I think, or something ridiculous. But you can see this Gen5x brushless. And I'm going to go over some of the differences as well. And this one has the Octane. Now, I've seen many videos, and they compared these and said that it wasn't really worth the upgrade. Now, this is what they said. Now, I'm going to go ahead and completely dispute that in many aspects of saws. And for starters, I'm going to go over this real quick. The depth on this one is 3 and 11/16. Now, 3 and 11/16. It's almost 3 3/4. Now, check this out. You can see how much deeper it actually cuts, and it's about 3/8 of an inch, I think. In fact, let me go grab a tape, we'll find out. Okay, so I got my Stanley tape, and you can clearly see that that one goes to, okay, let's put it on this side. It's a little tiny bit past the 5/8, 2 5/8. You see that? 5 1/2, and then 5/8 is right there. It's a little bit past that. And on the other one, as you can see, it's just over 2 1/4. About maybe not even a 16th past 2 1/4. So that's the difference right off the bat. That's a major deal. So when you're doing 4 cuts on a 6x6, you may make it all the way through. And one thing that I did is, you can see this blade right here. This blade is something I found at a construction site that had been laying out in the water and the dirt, and somebody had tossed it off their saw. Obviously it has a lot of wear. This is almost a brand new blade, but yet it is a little bit dirty because I had been cutting treated wood, so it does need to be cleaned. But this saw, the Octane saw, with the dull old saw blade, cut twice as fast as that one on a 2x4, non-treated 2x4. And it's crazy because this one supposedly spins at like 50, I think it's 5,300, 5,600 RPMs, and this one's only like 38. Yep, 38. And it doesn't sound much more powerful at all. I mean, it sounds like it spins faster, but it doesn't sound much more powerful. But it is. It is way more powerful. And like I said, I was cutting 2x4s. This is a relatively new blade. And then I put it up against this blade, which has cut through many nails, and kept on doing it. I actually ended up cutting through nails when I was doing the test cuts. Another thing that I want to go over is this plate is wobbly. Like, there's a loose point right here in the pivot, and it actually, like, the bushing isn't tight enough, and it actually has like this little wobble. And the blade is not 90 degrees perpendicular to the actual foot of the saw, or the plate, the base plate. Now I checked this one, and it is exactly 90 degrees when it is at 90 degrees. And also, while I'm thinking about it, the level adjustment on this little scale is on point, like absolutely on point. And it has bevel stops. So click, click. Now that clicks in right at 1.5. Now when I make a cut, it's right at 1.5. And so it has the stops on the depth, which is nice. Very, very nice. And a lot of people don't understand that these little knobs, all of them on Ridgid, if they're not lined up right, you pull them out and you adjust them how you want it. So that way when you go to use it, it works. And I like it kind of like down there. But if it's not right, it's not hard to change. This one has an adjustable rafter hook, which I find basically useless because of the fact of where it's mounted. This gets in the way. So if you want to hang your saw, like you see all that front stuff gets in the way, so the rafter hook is kind of useless. I mean, not in all situations. Maybe if you had a 2x4 or a 2x that's going this direction that's not big, like a 2x6, maybe a 2x4, you might be able to get it in there. Other than that, it's kind of useless. Maybe you can hang it on your ladder if you've got hooks for your ladder. As far as the dust extraction, neither one of them are really good at it. But they do both have bevel stops, and they are pretty accurate. So it's got a 0 bevel stop, and then you just turn that back. And like I said, all these knobs are all adjustable. So I could put it down here, up there, all the way down to here, wherever you want to put it, don't matter. And they both do that. Even the old one does it. So you can just adjust it wherever you want. So the shoe is better. It's not wobbly. This is true at 90, and there's quite a bit more power. Now there was people complaining about there wasn't enough room in here. There's actually more room than in here, and I have big hands. Like, that's a 7 1/4 saw. My hand's bigger than the saw, so got big hands, and mine fits in there beautifully, just wonderfully. And these toggle switches, very easy to push. I don't know if they could have pulled it off, but a variable speed trigger might have been awesome, or even like a dial knob. That would be the next thing for, say I was cutting steel. I would want it at a lower RPM so it doesn't heat up the carbides and burn them out. Since this one spins slower, I might just slap a metal blade on that and see if it can handle that. I doubt it power-wise, but this one could definitely do it. It just spins way too fast and probably heat up the blade and ruin it. And they're very expensive, like 40 to 60 bucks for the Freud. Other than that, they're basically the exact same saws. I mean, other than the power and the fact that they fixed the shoe and that it sits 90 to the blade, and the fact that this one spins faster, they're basically the exact same saw. And the light on the Octane is a lot brighter. And I mean a lot brighter. This one's not bad. Most people say these are left-handed saws, but I'm going to give you a quick lesson. Alright, so I'm holding my workpiece with my left hand. Now, if this was a left-handed saw, I would have it this way. I'd be holding this way and cutting with my left hand. Well, this is the piece that's going to fall off. So if all the weight of my saw is on the part that's falling off, that's incorrect. So I'd be holding this with my left hand, the piece that's falling off will be on the right. That's how you use these saws. So then you do your cut, and then your piece falls off. So contrary to popular belief, this is a right-handed saw. A left blade is actually a left-handed saw. So run that one by your brain cells. But anyways, this one does have a vacuum attachment. I have not tried it, but I'm sure it works decent. I would not say that it probably works well because of the way these circular saws actually deal with the dust. I don't think it has a lot of room in here in this vent for them to correctly pull out the dust, but I might be wrong. We're going to do a test when it becomes light outside, but right now it's dark, so can't do anything. On this one does not have the height stops. As you can see, it's just free floating, and the gauge is not accurate at all. I mean, it's close, but it's nowhere near like this one. So this one's a better saw, it has more power. It's got the stops on the depth adjustment as well as the bevel. This one only has bevel. The handle's more comfortable. The light is brighter. It spins way faster, has more power, like I said before. But other than that, if you're used to this saw right here, this is not much of a change. So you're not going to notice much of an issue. They're basically weighted about the same. I do believe they're about the exact same weight. I mean, within a couple ounces. So I wouldn't say there's any issue there. Top of this is aluminum or magnesium. The grip on this is amazing on both of them, really, but this one's actually more comfortable because it's curved and it has more room for your 3 fingers than this one does. So I do like this saw. This one's just a lot better. Now I'm going to get into testing these saws when like I said, when it's not night. It's probably about 11 o'clock right now, or past then, so I can't really do anything. But just from the depth of cut, the more power, the speed of the saw versus this one, it is worth it. Now, they are starting to discontinue the Octane line, so if you can still pick this up, I would do it, because I almost guarantee you that the newer line that's coming out is not going to be as powerful as this. And I don't know why they're dialing back, but that's just what they've been doing. I think that's what's going to happen. So get these while they're in stock. And I got the Octane drill and the Octane Impact, the 6-mode one, just because the drill is super powerful. I mean, super powerful, and the new ones suck. And the new Impact sucks. And so, yeah. Another thing is this trigger and the locking mechanism is a lot easier to pull than this one. This one's a little bit harder to spring down, and the trigger itself is actually harder to pull. So a lot of times I'll catch myself in a cut where I accidentally release the trigger because it's so tough to pull. And this one's quite a bit easier to pull. But other than that, those are the main differences. But let me see if I can show you the difference in the light. Okay, so we're going to test the differences in the light. So if you're looking at it this way, that's going to be your light. You can see kind of how much it casts. Then when that shuts off, you can see how much more light this one actually puts off. So again, and there's also a bigger sight window. So you can barely see the blade on this one. But on this one, big sight window. So that's a big plus right there. Now I don't want to run the saws because my son is sleeping. Or trying to sleep anyway. But another thing I noticed is on this saw, there's more room for a bigger battery, such as the 9 amp hour, or maybe even if they come out with a bigger one, which will be nice. But this is a 4 amp hour, and it's literally almost touching the shoe. So if I put the 4 amp hour, and by the way, I noticed no difference in power from the 4 amp hour to the 3 amp hour, but the 4 amp hour lasts a lot longer. A lot. Like, it's ridiculous. But now you can see how much more room there is on that, and it is fully depthed out because it's touching right there on the bottom. But see how much more room there is for batteries. So I don't even know if you could even put a 9 amp hour on this. I have no idea. But it looks like whatever this is bent. This little piece right here, look at this. It's not even touching down. Strange. I don't even know if this one has that piece. Oh, it does, but it has like a little divot where it goes. And it's also not bent. That's crazy. And I haven't been too hard on this saw, so I don't know why that would be bent. Maybe that's something I need to look into. Maybe that's what holds the shoe flat. But yeah, the only thing that's a pain in the butt on this is the ports. They're held in by a Phillips screw on the back side of this, and so you have to adjust the depth all the way up. So you pull the depth all the way up, and then take your battery out. And there's a screw right in here, right in front of my thumb, which is kind of a pain. I wish it was a pop in and out, but the router's the same way. And here's that piece closer up. It's got a little, like it's kind of routed out, CNC machine or something. And so I guess that's just to stabilize the saw. But this one, flexes. It's just not very sturdy. You can kind of see the saw wobbling. Yeah, it just wobbles back and forth. It's crazy. This one doesn't do it. I'm actually moving the whole saw, including the shoe. But at full depth. Full depth, look how close that blade is to the ground. It's basically touching it. This one's a little bit further away. But here we can see the it's hard to see. But yeah, this one's solid. And yeah, that's pretty much the basis of everything. And also, on these Octane tools, it does have a little prong out here, but I don't know if that's the same one. So if it was gonna have extra prongs, oh, it does. Okay, they go on the very outside corners right here. So it does have the extra prongs, and they are right there on the outside. Right there. In front of my thumb. And then here's your battery prong next to it. Same over here. one on the outside. These do not have it. So that's one of the only tools that I've actually seen that on. Maybe they're on there and I just can't see them. But those are the main differences of these two saws. Now, like I said, I will show you the difference in the saws and the fact that the Octane battery doesn't necessarily give it much more power at all, or maybe just a tiny bit. So I'll show you that. But that's my overview of these saws. Pick this up while you can because it may be discontinued, and the only way to get this with lifetime is to go through Home Depot or whoever else their LSA will allow. But you can definitely tell this one's new. This one's dirty, new, dirty. So I'm gonna go over the other tools in other videos. I did pick up the compact blower, and wow, that thing is quite powerful for being such a small little hair dryer. It's awesome. Thanks for watching.